2, 1. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another installment of Wildcat Focus, where we look back together on some of the finest moments in NMU athletics history. I'm Derek Miceli. Joining me today, we've got head football coach Kyle Nystrom, also some very notable alums with us, Kurt Albrecht, Skip Ponder, and current wide receivers Rayvon Johnson and linebacker Austin Potter with us. Everyone, thanks for coming on and doing this viewing today.
Glad to be here.
Now we're going to start, I figure, a real gridiron classic. We'll go with the starting lineups today, but a bit about this. The 1975 Camellia Bowl NCAA Division II championship game. The finale of a season that would forever go down in history as one of the most amazing turnarounds in sports history, the best in college football at the very least. We've got the Northern Michigan Wildcats facing off against the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. We'll get it rolling here with the starting lineups, and while they're doing theirs, we might as well do ours, and we'll introduce our cast here, starting with Coach Nystrom.
Rich McGuire, Arden Olson,
Jack Gentner, Joel Hanner,
starting linebacker,
Randy Zimmerman,
the linebacker that had to start.
Kenny Ames in place of Alex Maslamani,
Gaylord,
Cucinato.
Des Plaines, Chicago.
Yeah,
there he is.
Yeah.
There he is.
One, Skip Ponder.
I had hair.
Good.
Joe Stimo, the great Joe Stimo. Stu Betts.
Tailback.
Yep, team captain.
Coach Krieger.
Gil Krieger. Wow.
There we go, getting things rolling out there on the court. I mean, obviously, many folks within the UP know the story, the one that inspired the Put Your Hand on the Line documentary, still making rounds at various festivals and events. But, I mean, we've got sources here directly from it. Obviously, Kyle, you were young at the time, but your father, Buck, an assistant coach, and our two alum here, part of that 75 team. Guys, do you remember at all what you were thinking heading in to this championship game before we get it going here?
Kurt, you go first.
Well, going into the game, it was like it was another game, but it was pretty exciting to be there. What a time! What a season it was, and what an experience. So, I guess at this point in the game, I'm looking at it, and it's ready for kickoff, and you've got all those butterflies and all those nerves, and you're ready to hit somebody to get rid of some of that. I don't know. What are you thinking about now?
You know, Kurt, it was like a mystery tour. I told Kyle yesterday that I was your recruit, you know, when I came up in December, and you pretty much sold me on Northern. I'd come from Arizona, from a JC, playing football, but I was actually a track man in high school and junior college. And when Bill Rodemaker came down to Phoenix, you know, I got a chance to meet him, and he told me that you guys had lost every game that you played the year before, but you lost every game within a touchdown of 3 points. And for some reason or another, he sold me on coming up to Northern. I told people in Arizona, they said, man, you're crazy. They lost every game. But I got up there, and the guys, everybody that I met, they were just magical. Everyone that I met was enthused about the upcoming season. No one the losers, Buck Nystrom ran them off, but everyone else that stayed, you know, we wanted to win. And for some reason or another, we just thought that every time we played, we were supposed to win, you know. And that's how we ended up in the Camellia Bowl.
Now, Kyle, I know you were fairly young at the time. Do you remember anything about this?
Oh yeah, it was my dad's first year back in coaching. And I was old enough to know what was going on. I was in 5th grade, and these two players, I'll tell you, I was down at the field almost every day.
Every day.
And just loved being around those guys. They were great role models. And you know, for me, I looked at it, they were like NFL players to me. So every minute I was around there was a good time. And we got to play a lot of ball just, growing up while they were practicing. So there's some interesting stories in here, and Kurt may allude to it. Kurt was a fullback for us, but you're going to see him step into this game and play linebacker. Right, Kurt?
Yeah, I'd never played linebacker in college before this game, and got to play linebacker in this game.
I think Joel was a little nicked. Is that correct? As you look back, guys, was Joel a little bit nicked, and we had to get some other people ready?
Yeah, it was, and that week I've been getting ready all week, practicing with the defense a little bit.
Oh,
Well, Kyle.
And so, and it's not like it's a regular season game. You're against the best. So, and he did a great job. So that's kind of a cool story in itself. For Skip or Kurt to talk about, we had a lot of people that had to play that weren't normally starters.
Yeah. Well, for some reason or another, the NC2A for Division II, when the season was over, they told us that Mark Fragel had transferred from Michigan State, starting linebacker. Alex Maslamani, starting strong safety from Central Michigan. Doc Sala, starting defensive end from Eastern Michigan, and Mike Berry, a nose tackle from Eastern Michigan. For some reason or another, they all were ineligible because of some transfer rule. And then our top defensive end, Carl Wilmer, had gotten his knee blown out during that season. So we walked on that field somehow with either four or five new players. I think John Bush, Jack Gentner, Ken Ames, and I think Randy was starting sometimes, but I can't remember the other person. No, I'm sorry, whoever it was, but myself, Cucinato, Joe Stemo, Joel Hanner, and Tom Gilbert and Rich McGuire, we were the regulars, and the other guys, they all had to fill in, and they somehow, I don't know to this day how we did it, but we did it.
It was one of those things that you get a little concerned about as a coach and as a player, but they all stepped in and they filled in and got the job done. It's like everybody says, you never know when your number's up, and there they were in playing winning football.
And there's a whole season too that goes into that. I mean, if we look at the legend surrounding this game, obviously a very good game as a standalone contest, but so much of that lore is about the season and how you had the program had gone 0-10, winless the season before. And you mentioned all those other things. I mean, really, when you look at turning a program around and something that's remarkable like this, you're looking for talent, but also character. And I think that we can say this team certainly not short on character in any way.
Well, guys, one thing people don't talk about much, they talk about what we did, but I think just as, or more importantly, our coaching staff, in my humble opinion, was the greatest coaching staff assembled in college. Well, Kyle, everyone knows what your dad meant to the team and to the city. Buck was our motivator, and, he ran the fourth quarter drills and whatnot. Bill Rademacher had played quite a while in the NFL. He brought a pro football playbook from Weeb Eubanks, New York Jets, and Steve Mariucci and those guys had to learn it. Bob Sadik, our secondary coach, was a Big Ten Rose Bowl quarterback. Super guy, but the guy who I think doesn't always get the credit that he deserves is Herb Grinke, because Herb had to fill in the spots. They took away 4 or 5 starters from Herb Grinke, and he somehow got it done. But even before the season, the linebackers, Roy Brown and Fred Smith were linebackers the year previous, and Buck took them to the old line, and Grinke just put together. I mean, every game he was a great coach. I mean, a fabulous coach. So I think that our coaches, were equal or even greater than what the players were, because the coaches are the ones that put us on the field every Saturday.
One of the things that's kind of standing out to me right now that I just noticed here, looks like, is it a base 5-2 defense
Yeah.
that Northern is running? That's not something that I feel like you see a whole lot anymore.
It was kind of the sign of the times back then. You're not going to see any one back sets. It's all going to be 2-back or 3-back. It's mainly going to be I twins and I pro. Basically Northern back then was a split back veer option team with a pretty complex passing game. Like Skip alluded to, Coach Rademacher brought things concept-wise into the program that you still see today. For instance, probably a lot of the coverage is back, and Skip may be able to tell you what Coach Sadek taught these guys was a lot of cover 2, probably a lot of cover 3, and maybe some man or man free, and maybe some zero coverage against pressure packages. But back then even, Billy was running race routes across the field diagonals against people free, and doing things that we see today still that are present problems. So even though what you're going to see is a lot different than what we see today in football, where we see a lot more 1-back sets and empty sets and a lot of spread formations. You won't see that here. But as far as concepts in the passing game, we were pretty good at it. Thanks to Billy. Our defense was an odd package, what most people ran. I don't know, what were you playing, Skip? Cover 3 and cover 2?
Well, we played a lot of 2 and 3. But what we tried to do also was we played kind of like a soft 1, meaning that that because we were so undersized up front, when we did a cover 1, it's almost like you're in a 1, but you're almost in a 3. So I mean, sometimes it worked and sometimes it got us in trouble. But we always have to do just a little bit more. We didn't have those big guys up front, so we didn't always have a great pass rush. So if you don't have a great pass rush, you can't be in a cover 1 all day or whatnot. But I don't know, those coaches, they somehow got it done. And we talk about the team, but we don't talk enough about what the coaches had us do and how they believed in us.
Yeah, you'll see that odd package, their old 52. And the game was so much more run-oriented back then. You'll see them trying to – everybody, I'm sure, was trying to load the box and stop the run as best as they could and get as many helmets in the box to get away with what they could and still defend the passing game. And that's just kind of the way everybody was back at that point. I don't really know if anybody was running a lot of even fronts and 4-3 defenses, but here's Northern back in their split backs going to the air right away. Going vertical, trying to hit. It must be Maurice. I'm taking.
That's Maurice.
That is Maurice. Boy, he ran gracefully, didn't he?
He did.
Like Kalamazoo. Is that where he was from, Skip?
No, he's from Bangor, just north of Kalamazoo.
Yeah, just
Bangor, Michigan.
He can run.
Yeah, he can run.
NMU Hall of Fame. I see his picture in the office, up in the administration part.
Yeah.
Good speed. Ryan Adams from Norway.
Ken Russellevich, rest in peace.
Sophomore here. I think he was a sophomore when he started, wasn't he, guys?
Who was that?
Kenny. You talking about Kenny?
No, I'm talking about Steve Mariucci. Wasn't he a sophomore at this point?
He was a
Yes.
sophomore. He was
Yeah.
a sophomore.
And I knew Kenny was young. We had to come in for Alex.
Yeah.
You can see both beginning drives. Western Kentucky did manage the ball for a while, but we ended up getting the punt, and now we're second and long behind the chains a little bit. But we're in split tight. Good throw across the middle.
Kyle, Steve was our best quarterback, but he got that job by default. Paul Krieger was the starter, and he got hurt in a scrimmage the week before the season. And Bobby Tuma got hurt in the first game of the season.
Right.
And Steve stepped in, and he never left the field.
Yeah. So we're off the field 3-0. On the punt. was punting back for us? Was it Jack?
It was Jack.
Yeah.
Jack Hearn.
Also played tight end. Good athlete. He do a lot of stuff for us.
From Escanaba.
Escanaba. Oh, we're back on defense.
You know, I stepped in a gopher hole the day we got to California, and my knee swelled up, and I didn't practice all week. I wasn't able to run until Saturday morning.
Oh my God. Where did you do that at, Skip? Was that on the practice field when we got there?
On the practice field at Cal Berkeley. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's not good. A little misdirection, a little counterplay by Western.
Lawrence Jefferson. He was an All-American tailback.
Good player, huh?
He was a freshman also.
My guys now, they look at this. They're not used to seeing this two backs. How much two back formation you ever see, Austin? Unless it's third and short or fourth and short nowadays, or down to the goal line.
Not a lot.
You don't ever see it. So my guys look at this. They're like, what? You know, what kind of scheme y'all got going here?
What do you guys have? One back? You see a lot of one back with four wide.
Yeah, we see a lot of 11 personnel, which one back, one tight end. And, you know, people may flex that tight end. That's something you don't see anymore right there, isn't it, boys?
I love that shot.
You know,
That's done.
Smoking away.
rolling a dart on the boundary during a game. Oh, I don't know if that will fly anymore. Oh, they got us on what looks like a little inside trap.
Yeah, me and Cooch ran him down.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I remember that play.
There's some little wedge play.
Yeah.
This is a good play against the out front. You get a little gap open in there. You can get to linebackers. You got some room. Under I pro or I twins. I pro. On the perimeter. And they're moving the ball now. There's Skip.
Yeah. Tackling was my forte.
You know, as a defensive coach, I started getting concerned when my secondary's got to make too many tackles back there. It means it's getting too deep on us, Skip.
Yep. But the coaches told us that before every game that it was going to happen because we were so undersized up front on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, there's a little triple option beer package.
Hey, Kyle, do you guys still do that pursuit drill that Grinke had us doing before practice every game?
Yeah. We run pursuit drills in practice probably every other practice at least. And when we Skip, we do it a lot. Like in a normal season during your regular week, we'll do it a lot Wednesdays. I like the pursuit drills at the end of practice because I can use it for a mechanism of conditioning too.
Yeah.
You know, and so
we
get into ways where we can condition our players doing something that's more football related than just, you know, running gassers and things like that. And so, you know, the offense will do long ball drills and things like that to condition, and the defense will do all those pursuit drills. But that's a staple still, absolutely.
Yeah.
A little isolation. We're fighting down here right now. Are you in at linebacker yet, Kurt?
I don't think so. I wasn't in this. I think this is more of a 51 package they've got going on here.
Okay.
On that. I'm not sure when I got in. Somewhere around here.
Well, their second drive, they've had one big play and enough good plays here still to move the ball and hold the ball. Another to power I. Running the ball inside and getting through on us. So we came down the field pretty secure pretty good execution on their second series. We've got to do some answering here.
We do, but we did it all year. We certainly weren't in an uncomfortable position being down a couple of points here. So.
Good.
Just remember the Western Illinois game. Was that the epitome of coming back?
No.
Yeah, it was. It was.
I can't remember how far we were down and the timing of the game, but
We were down by three. We were down by 3 touchdowns with about 9 minutes to go in the game.
is that what it was, Skip?
Yep.
So we're in good shape right now compared to that. We're in good shape.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're coming back.
We're in our comfort zone right here.
Short kick. Is that Ricky?
Yeah, that's Ricky.
Ricky Jackson.
Yeah.
You seen?
Racine, Wisconsin. My roommate, one of my roommates.
Was it? What was he then? Is he a redshirt freshman or like a sophomore? He was a younger guy, right?
No, he was a true freshman.
Yeah, he was. Did he stick around here, Skip?
No, unfortunately, he didn't. Ricky, something happened in the hyper gym doing conditioning, and he kind of like went nose to nose with Buck. But Ricky was wrong, and he kind of, at that time, Northern had quite a few tailbacks. So when it's time for scholarship, they just didn't invite him back. You know.
Yeah.
Some other guys, not that they were better than Ricky, but they seemed like they were more committed to the program. So they didn't invite him back.
Well, we got back up. So what are we now? First and long? They call some penalty on our little deceptive play there. Do you think, Rayvon, would it be fun to be a wideout when there's 2 backs in there all the time? And
Yeah.
are you going to have Rayvon as 2 wideouts?
Hey, as long as I'm one of the 2.
As long as you're one of the 2?
As long as I'm one of the 2.
As long as you're one of the 2.
We had the 2 best receivers in the country.
Yeah, they were good. Zach and Mo.
Yep, they both were All-Americans. Yep.
And our tight end caught a lot of balls, didn't he?
Brian Adams, he did. He was fast, too.
He caught a couple big balls in this game.
Yep.
Grigsby caught that winning touchdown against Grand Valley.
Yep.
Here we are. Second down. Triple option. Looks like we're going to get in the 3rd down. They obviously didn't do a very good job back in the day giving you the D&D updates on the screen, did they?
No.
It's different nowadays. Or replay, D&D.
For a second,
Let's go, boys. Let's go, boys. Let's pick it up.
I missed that trip.
Randy Alry and Stu Betts and split backs.
Yeah, here we go.
We'll drop back. We get a little pressure. Yeah, they affected the quarterback on us right there. 7-5. Creating a little mishap for us.
Those guys were big up front. They were like 240 and 250 on both sides of the ball.
Get it out of there, Jack.
Nice punt, Jack.
Oh. There you go. Good play. Let him get outside. Al, where did you guys find the game? Was it on DVD somewhere?
I've got a DVD of it here, yeah, that we found deep in the vault.
I got you. And there's Jeff from Frankenmuth.
Jeff Reinbold. He's a good player.
Yeah. We just saw him at homecoming, right, Kurt?
Sure did, yeah. he ended up buying a second home up in Marquette.
Yep.
And so we're going to be seeing a lot of him.
His wife's a Northern grad, and so they come up and spend time there.
Yeah, they love it up in Marquette. They really do. I could see a day when they move up to Marquette permanently.
Well, the old Hilltoppers, they start on 44. On their 44, it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
We got to start. We got to get this ball turned over and get it back.
Jim Lampley, he ended up having a pretty good career with ABC and HBO.
Yeah, he did. He looks like he just got out of college a week ago right there.
He did. Yep. Yep. Showtime boxing.
Now we got a little 3 back. Arc option, double arc with a crack. Should have him in 3rd down, don't we?
Yep.
Oh, Skip, do you remember the quarterback? Was he an older dude? Pretty
Yeah, Charlie Hobby, I think he was like 2nd team All-American. I don't know why, honestly, because, Steve was a better quarterback.
Yeah.
But this guy, Western Kentucky, that's like a pretty good small school at the time. He was decent. He didn't have a great arm, but he didn't make mistakes or whatnot.
We got a fumble. Must have. That was 3rd down. We got the ball.
Yeah.
Split play. There it is. There it is. That's big. How big is that, huh, boys? Nice little takeaway. Particularly when they were halfway normal. We'll play action. Throw a slant. Got to be more Reese.
That is Zach. No, it's Maurice. That's Maurice. Yeah.
All right, now we got a good game play. Get a little momentum. First play after a takeaway.
Yeah, guys, we talk about sudden change situations like this is what they're often referred to as, and kind of an interesting thing. I mean, that's exactly what we see here. You really
Sudden
felt
change. Yeah.
they were in that Western Kentucky was really feeling themselves until that turnover. And then you got to immediately taking a shot and really an aggressive approach, trying to shift that momentum from the NMU side. What do you think is some of the psychology? I guess we'll start with our coaches and alum, and then we'll get to the players themselves of those situations like that and how you handle it as a player.
Well, that's when you turn the ball over, you kind of expect the other team to go for a big play right away. That's kind of the staple. Doesn't mean they always do, but you got to be ready for that, and you try to kind of judge it by the personnel that they're in, and get ready to make a call. Basically, if you think they're gonna take a shot at you, do you want to defend it with a softer coverage, or do you want to pressure them? Those are the things that you decide during the week. We took a shot right there, but when you put your defense in that position, during practice and during camp, about being used to, how do you get them used to mentally handling, okay, we're off the bench now, and you're sort of going to a chainsaw mentality of a sudden change, and you just put them in that situation in practice so that they've been there before and know what to expect.
Kyle, your dad, Gil Krieger, and Bob Sadik and Rademacher, they all stressed sudden change during the game, and we actually did drills in practice on sudden change on certain plays that we would run if we got a fumble or whatnot, or what we should expect if our offense fumbled.
And we just hit the tight end. We were just talking about
that was Brian Adams there.
Looks like we probably should be four. Here's the 3 back. You had fullback, Kurt.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Kurt went both ways, man.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
You got it. There's 3-3 right there. So who do we got at fullback? Stu and you, and then Aubrey at tailback when we're in a 3-back package? Is that who we-
Yeah. They usually just threw me in there. Sometimes they would take Stu out.
Would they?
Well, there's Stu, and that's R in the tailback. Stu's to the right there.
I got you. They're good on defense. Like Skip said, they got good size and they move well.
Yeah.
They've got enough option in their package where it's our option attack is not something that they haven't seen. You know, they're seeing it against themselves as are we, as our defense probably, you know, goes against our offense. It was nothing new when we got to it in the game. And I think a lot of people ran so much option back then, didn't they, Skip?
A lot of them did, you know, and once again, you know, going back to conditioning or whatnot, I was surprised throughout the year, but we just ended up being faster and in better condition than everyone we played.
Yeah.
You know, our linemen were faster than a lot of secondaries were.
There's a nice play. Nice play.
Yeah. Called back and offside on that.
That penalty. What did we do, Kurt? What happened?
Ricky Jackson jumped offside.
Wow, Ricky.
Yeah.
I remember that because Gil Blaine
Yeah.
came screaming at me and told me I was offside. And I said, man,
Kurt, you didn't have anything to do with that, did you?
Oh boy.
I wouldn't take credit for that one, but I think Gil probably still would blame me for jumping. So
Wow.
Ravon might tell you the same thing that I do. I don't do that to you, do I, Ray?
What, yell at me?
Yell at you for something you didn't do? That never happens, does it?
My memory's not too good. Can't just throw you under the bus like that.
Yeah, well, we got a little sprint out, break and contain pass.
Boy, Maurice had another gear, man.
sure did.
So we can kick the field goal. We're in the 4th down. Dan Harbs
Dan Harves.
from Minnesota. Albert
Absolutely.
Lee, was he Albert Lee? Straight toe kicker. That was the way it was. There was probably a lot more straight toe kickers at that time than there was soccer style kickers.
Yeah, that was right in the transition time, I think. It was
Yeah.
soccer style were just coming in, and it was kind of a big deal to see one.
We closed
He kicked the field goals, but didn't Bernd Ronstedt actually do the kicking off for us?
Yeah, that was it. Had just a great leg, and
Super leg.
I think he used that.
next year wasn't he the kick? Didn't he do everything then, Skip, or no?
Yeah, you know, Bernd ended up getting drafted in like the 4th or 5th round by the Falcons, but Pete Rozelle made him stay in college for another year. Said that he wasn't eligible. Something about his skiing and football,
Yeah.
but he had a super leg. He had a cannon leg. Unfortunate how he died also.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was sad
sure was.
after the Akron game the next year.
Yep.
I was talking to Sten, our ski coach here. Sten came to Northern, and it was actually a roommate of Bert's. They came together to Northern to ski, and he would tell me stories about, and you guys might have known how Bert ended up on the football team. He was out; those guys were out there screwing around on Memorial Field, and Bert was kicking balls, and Coach Rademacher went out there to yell and scream at those guys to get them off the field, right? Because you remember how it was back then. They didn't want to around the field and tearing it up. And when he was going out there to kick those guys off the field, he saw Bert kick a ball, and it went, and he was way out there in the middle of the field, and it went over the uprights and hit the Peef building. And and Billy couldn't believe how strong a leg he was. So he asked him to come out and try out for the team, and then the rest is history. But that's how he ended up. You know, he was originally here as a skier.
Yep.
Kurt was from where? Norway?
Norway.
Yeah. And boy, he was just a
Man, could he kick?
It was unbelievable. He'd kick him out into 3rd Street on kickoffs.
Yep. He would.
Or I should say 3rd, but what was it? The other street there, Fair Street.
Bill Krieger. Bobby Tuma. Bobby was a coach on the field, man, on the sideline.
Remember the story about the Central game? Bobby said, take a safety.
Yep. Yep.
It worked out pretty well.
It did.
End of the first quarter. Pretty even game. We're throwing the ball quite a bit more than we're trying to run it, though, aren't we?
Well, we had to because they were bigger than us, you know, and it was hard. You know, Fred and those guys, Fred and Roy and Russ and those guys, they move people a lot. But these guys in Boise State were like they were like D1 size. And it's just another testament to our coaching because Fred and Roy, Thayer and those guys, they held their own. Actually, in the 4th quarter, they took over when these guys got tired.
Giving us a lot of 3 back there, Skip.
Yeah.
Saying we're going to be bigger than you. We're just going to wear you out, aren't they?
Yes, sir. Or so they thought. Yep.
Yeah, they didn't throw a whole lot of passes in that game, did they?
Well, they threw one, and actually, it was a touchdown. It was that we were in kind of like a soft one, but a zone. And normally I had Joe Steno at free safety back deep, but there's a play coming up pretty soon as to where Kenny was a freshman. This is his first time starting. And tight end ran a drag, and Kenny let him go. So Joe came up, and normally where I thought that I'd have somebody in center field so I could watch my side of the field also, Joe was gone. And I'll never forget it because it was a touchdown on national TV. I got ribbed about that when I got back to Phoenix.
Back to Phoenix?
Yeah, man. My guys were waiting for me. You got beat, Skip. You got beat on TV.
Oh, man. So they're ahead of us, obviously, in rushing. They're 117 in the first quarter. We're 6, 48.
Wow.
5 first downs for them, 2 for us. Only 19-13 play-wise. Not bad. Pretty even that part. Over here.
One thing that does stand out to me, too, on this defensive end, such aggressive pursuit that you really love to see on that side of the ball, eh?
Yes. Tom Buchkowski, he was tough.
He was as tough as they come, I'll tell you.
As tough as they come.
He quiet and a really nice guy, but man, he was tough.
Was Butch Ramos and E guys?
Yes.
You ever?
I love playing behind Buchkowski.
Oh, I bet.
Yep.
It's like a little counterplay there. They've got some nice run schemes there.
Yeah.
And they're rotating. They've got a couple players. They're in and out with different people.
Yeah.
They've got plenty more than 1 or 2 backs. They've got a couple.
They
kids.
did.
You know, I had to play him twice, and when I was at Central, we played him twice in bowl games. Both bowl games that we went to when I coached at Central was against Western Kentucky guys.
Really?
We played them down in the Little Caesars Bowl in Detroit, and then we played them again. What was it? 2 years later 3 years later out in the Bahamas in the inaugural Popeyes Fried Chicken Bowl in Nassau, in the Bahamas.
How long ago was that, Kyle?
We played them. Let me see. I got to Central in 2010, and we played my third year. We played them in Detroit. That had been 12, and then 15 in the Bahamas.
Who was their head coach?
Their head coach the first time we played them was Willie Taggart. Now he had just taken the head job at South Florida.
Yeah.
So they were a staff in limbo at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And so we ended up beating them and they had to make a play at the last play of the game to get them off the field. We ended up beating them in a tight game. And then the second time we played them, the head coach at Purdue right now was there, Brom. And he's a Louisville guy. He played quarterback there, and he was with all, coached there played there and coached with all those guys at Louisville. Good football coach. And, we played him out there in Nassau,
Yeah.
Bahamas, and they got up on us big in the first half, and we came fighting back in the second half. And, and then we, at the end of the game, right near the end of the game, we scored on one of the rugby plays, you know what I mean? We just called it the Popeye prayer because it was the Popeyes Bowl, and we ended up getting the ball late to Titus Davis, and we ended up going for 2 at the last play of the game to win it. And we had taught the receivers, if they pressed us, we were going to run a fade. If they were off, we were going to run a slant. And the guy kind of, at the corner skip, he started to press, and then he inched out a little bit right before the snap. So it confused us a little bit, and we didn't execute it. So both games came down to the last play.
Kyle, I'm amazed at your football knowledge, man. I'm amazed, man.
I just learned from all the good. I got lucky to learn from all the people that I was around and worked for through the years. And one thing I can do is I can remember stuff and steal stuff as far as ideas and drills and concepts.
That's what all the great ones do.
Yeah, every time, I did learn a lot of football when I was at Western Michigan, and we used to go to the University of Washington. We ended up going out there for about, I want to say 5 to 6 years every spring. And that's when Don James was there and Jim Lambright, and they were just probably, elite compared to everybody else on defense and schematics between the 4-4 and jumping to a bear front. And learned a lot there. And then, I got lucky to work for, Gary Darnell, who was tied into Gary Patterson at TCU, and went out there for 3 years and learned a lot. So
Gary Patterson, wow.
A lot of good people. There we go. Starting to shut the run down a little bit now.
Yeah.
Funny when as you watch, college teams, the first series is always a little concerning for the defense, because if you go against your scout team a lot during the week in game prep, the execution speed is just not.
It's not. It is not the same.
Not the same, no matter how hard you try as a coach and things like that. And so it generally takes the defense, a little bit of time during the game, a series or two to get back up that tempo and that speed of execution. Which is why a lot now during practice, and we did it all year at Northern last year, we do what we call team max. So instead of the scout team running the cards, we'll have the 1s and the 2s running for the defense and for the offense. We just call that team max. And you can kind of that execution speed a little bit higher so that in the game you're not getting shocked about that.
Well, Kyle, back then, Gil Krieger, at least once a week in practice on goal line,
Yep.
It was 1 against 1.
There you go. You think the coaches were holding their breath to get through that period without getting anybody hurt?
There's, something, I don't know, because all the coaches had egos back then, and it's like we took it personal. We took it, and they did too. Both sides of the ball wanted to be the ones that actually were the part of the team that was the best. And man, we had some fights down there on goal line against those guys, man.
Yeah.
I miss those days.
Yep. Where they dragged the guy back over the top on that play.
Yep.
They don't even replay the touchdown.
I looked down for a second.
The replays are really hard to find, aren't they?
Yeah.
We show you the band in the cheering section.
We can't run that back like 30 seconds.
We can't run it back. We'll show you the PAT. They got a straight kicker too.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. Straight kickers were way down it back then.
Here it is. Here it is.
Yeah, they're running a little boot. Here he comes on the drag.
Yep.
And the over drag.
Yep. I was mad, but
That's something that
I kind of redeemed myself on the next series. I get an interception.
I think you redeemed yourself, Skip. Comfortably.
We're sitting 14-3 right now, aren't we, boys?
We are.
Yeah. Watch Maurice though.
Time for us to do something.
Howard Cosell.
You guys feel the pressure now at all? Out of curiosity, you had mentioned that you've been in a lot of real close dogfights throughout the regular season, one-score games. I think half of them actually during that regular season were one-score games that you came out on top. But I mean, this wasn't just any game, right? This was the championship. How did you feel after that, being down 14-3 early on?
Kurt?
Well, I think you get down 14-3 and you start to get concerned. But the fact that it was a championship game, it was another game. I mean, it was a game, but I don't think we looked at it like, oh, geez, this is the championship game. It was still another game and another game that we just had to execute. And that goes back to Skip's point, where we were really well coached in that respect, and that we had our plan and we were going to stick to it. And we moved on good plays both on offense and defense, and we knew our coaches were there for us. And I don't know. I didn't, we just kept pressing, man. I don't know.
Kurt, it was concern, but we didn't feel the pressure. And that was something about that whole year. The only time I think we felt pressure was that last game against Western Illinois when we were down by, 19 or 21 points with 9 minutes to go. But still, we didn't panic. We just always thought we were supposed to win.
We kept playing. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody that can say, no, we're going to win this when we were 3 touchdowns down. But we continued to execute and didn't do anything stupid and didn't try anything stupid. It worked out.
Yeah.
You get into those situations. I think and they probably did a good job working with you, but even working with your teams as you develop them, you got to instill in them, you take care of the small things and the big things will take care of themselves. And so you break everything up into really one play at a time kind of mentality, right, guys? At a time, put a string together, take care of the small things. The big things will take care of themselves so that you can refocus and get productive on both sides of the ball, to get yourself back into the game scoring wise and get yourself back into, a position where the game is back in balance and you have a chance to win it.
But also, Kyle, working so hard from Monday through Thursday, so hard in practice that when you took the field, we just thought that we were better. And even when we got behind, we thought that we would catch up, and we never took the field in awe of anybody. We thought that we were the best, after the Central victory, after that happened, we realized that we could play with anybody.
Right. Right. Rayvon, you know those wideouts and 3-point stances?
Yeah, I just see.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Question about
What do you think about that?
It's different.
I
I don't know how I would feel if I had to do it, but if I had to, I would do it.
You do what you had to do. Would you feel a little limited though, compared to the stance that you're into now? You
It
probably
would be a
feel
little limited, especially in, when the DB is like close when they press.
pressing you up.
Yeah, that would be a lot more challenging, but I have to figure something out.
There you go.
Rad changed that 2 years later.
Did he?
After we left, yep. He changed it.
Was that just a northern thing, or that was just everybody did that?
That was everybody. That was
Yeah.
almost everybody.
I think I remember seeing Nebraska even in the early '80s still in the 3 points,
Yeah.
wideouts.
I think the pros were too, because Rademacher
They-
brought the pro game
Yep.
to our program. I'm sure he would have changed it.
Got pressure coming.
There it is. Here it is. Here it is, guys. There
Jump
it is.
ball, underthrown. Skip.
Yep.
In
Yep.
the game,
Maurice.
just
there it
like
is.
that.
Were you guys teaching back shoulder short balls then?
Yep. Rademacher was. But that guy that Maurice beat was a first-team All-American, Rick Caswell. And Maurice made him look like a scout team cornerback, man.
There you go. They got that box loaded up.
Yep.
Good pressure. Bring the backers and the B gaps.
Yep. This guy was 6'1", 205 pounds, too big to stick with Maurice. First-team All-American, and he did nothing that game, man.
Well, that's a good thing. So we're back into a 4-point game.
Yep.
10.
Yep.
Feeling good about it now.
Yep. See how Maurice just ran right by him. He was too big.
Still, that's just great play. You know,
Yep.
on top of him and shuts it down for an underthrown ball, and that's the hardest thing on a corner. You know, you get into that vertical hip to hip, and there's an underthrown ball. It's just so hard.
It's hard. It's hard. It's real hard.
They're looking at the ball. No matter how hard you teach reacting to the wideouts movements, it's just so difficult.
You can't be faint-hearted and play cornerback.
No, you can't. All right, we got to make things happen. Here's a little bit of a statement now in this series.
Yeah.
So we got a good run stop on first down. We got them in at least second and 7 or more. Oh, they screwed up the exchange. Looked like it's a little bit tricky sometimes to tell with the film. What's going on? It gets a little dicey.
Yeah.
Regardless, they're in third and long or 3rd and 7, 6 right now.
I think it's redemption time. Let me see.
Yeah,
No, not yet.
not yet. It looks like first down.
Yeah. Look at this outfit this guy has on, the head coach, man.
Yep.
He's looking good.
He's looking sharp.
Absolutely.
That Bear Bryant look.
Yes, sir.
That is it, isn't it?
I had heard, I believe. Now, this was back in the days before the dome, right? So you guys had presumably a lot of snow and such at this time. I had heard a story, I think, that they had actually, with the band, ended the band for because most of the home games, and you guys probably attest, were scheduled earlier in the season due to that snow, right? And so I think the band had actually disbanded and they had to come together and then had a fundraiser and such and didn't practice, I think, until they got down for that bowl game.
I think you're right. I remember that.
One man row.
There it is.
Here it is. Got it. Now, I get hit so hard that I'm concussed, and for the rest of the game until the fourth quarter, I couldn't remember anything. Stemo was having to tell me where to line up. These two guys, I mean, they like hit me.
Yeah.
Blam! I got hit, man.
There's some good contact in there, Skip. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
it was some head-on contact back then.
Where was he trying to go with that ball, though, that quarterback? Boy, I actually would have race route or something. That wasn't even close. All right, he'll triple. Here.
It almost looked like it got tipped, I thought, coming out of there. Was it Bush? I think might have been the one that was up there. It sailed out of there kind of strange.
Well, it's hard moving the ball with that inside run against these guys, isn't it?
Yeah. These guys, man, they were big boys, man. Look how big they are.
Yeah.
But we didn't back down.
No. You've been at that point. You've been through harder wars than that.
Yeah.
What are we hitting digs right here again?
Yep. Our front five on offense had to have been the meanest front five in college football at that time.
Oh, yeah. Reese is catching a lot of balls.
Yep. He had a lot of pro scouts in the locker room after the game.
You notice how different the game was? Yeah. Just all the banging. It was just so, everything was how big you were inside to run the ball. And it wasn't about, how open the field up and how fast are you out in space now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is,
There's not a lot of finesse going on.
which is the way the game is war now. So everything was more of a phone booth, mentality to run the ball and bang on people and make it more like, so much more contact inside than what you see now. And so you had, as a result, you saw a lot better tackling and blocking back in the day, but not the open speed and agility and things that are so prevalent today now.
Oh, the one wideout looks like he's
fast.
He's pretty
Maurice
good.
was very fast.
Yeah, Maurice was fast. Zach was smooth.
Yep.
Maurice had better all-out speed. Both of them had great hands, and they were just complementary to each other and whatnot. But, back to that all-out speed, Kyle, when I left Northern, I was fortunate enough. I spent 3 preseasons in the big league. And I'll tell you this honestly, with the exception of maybe Ken Burrows in Houston, I didn't come across anybody that could change gears like Maurice could. I mean, Maurice could change gears, cut on the dime, and not lose speed. He could jump over you if he had to. But Zach was just so athletic. Zach just made everything look simple.
Yeah, very good ball skills. I remember the game against Akron. Zach caught a ton of balls in that game.
Yep.
And that was the one game probably that you guys could talk about that didn't go our way, but you felt what you learned, and how you responded after the Akron game.
Yeah. And in 75 against Akron, I had 17 tackles at short corner. I think 10 of them were unassisted, and the others were assisted. And Grinke and Coach Sadik, they said, Skip, you got to tackle. You have to tackle because we were outmanned up front. Those guys were big.
Yeah, they were a good football team, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. They were. I hate that we lost that second game in '76 because we'd actually beat them until overtime. Funny thing about it is that we were ranked #1 in the country, but the NCAA made us go to Akron because they said there was too much snow in Northern, and gave them a break to not come up there. Then it turned around to be like 20 below zero wind chill factor when we got there.
It was bad in the Rubber Bowl that day.
Yep.
Well,
that was a bad day.
We talk about double move packages, and even in '75, you just saw us try to run what we call sluggo, slant and go. It looked like that was right there, Skip.
Yeah.
We threw a pick, but it looked like a double move.
Yeah.
They're
This guy was good, Lawrence Jefferson. He was a freshman.
Was he a freshman?
He was a freshman, and I think he rushed for like 150-something yards that game. I mean, he was good. He talked a lot of trash, but he was good.
Nice play by Rich right there.
Yeah.
Player. Yeah.
Yeah.
He ran a little wide draw right there. That was a great play.
Rich McGuire was a stud.
Good player.
About 5'10", maybe 205, 210 pounds.
Exactly. Yep.
And he held his ground all the time.
But he can run he can run a legit 4.6 40.
Yeah.
They actually brought him to Northern to play fullback, and they moved him to nose tackle when your dad got there, Kyle.
Okay. Oh, he's quick and fast.
Yeah.
When you're playing nose and that odd front, you got to be able to play both sides.
Yeah.
How about that? We just showed us something that we made a living on an offense. They just went split back and ran 80J right there.
Yeah.
How we used to run, didn't we, Skip, on offense back in the day?
80J. Yep.
Quick J route.
Yep.
Back with just power play now. Off tackle, two back. I don't blame them. I think they have a good plan. You know, they're going to use their size and strength to kind of, wear it out and control the ball and control the possessions of the game, right?
Yep. Yep.
That's halftime.
Yeah, halftime. Now, around now, Kyle, I'm still at loss of memory. Sadie is telling Joe Stemo, just tell him where to go when he lines up. And I think it started coming back. My memory started coming back sometime around the back part of the third quarter.
You were gained it during the game. Who
Yep.
will tell you where to go?
Joe Stemo, our free safety.
Yeah. Who was Coach Stemo up on that? Did you say Coach Granke?
Coach Sadik. Coach Sadik, he said, Joe, just tell him where to go. Just tell him where to line up and tell him where to go. And that's what I was doing.
They had that kind of faith in you. And then
You think that would fly nowadays, guys? You think that would fly now, Potter?
No, they dragged you to the locker room and put you in a protocol, and you couldn't play for 2 weeks.
Yeah. If you wouldn't have they'd have had your helmet stuffed away so far from you.
Yeah. But man, we all got concussions back then.
I know.
And Reggie Peters would have us count fingers. If we counted them, we went back in the game, man.
Yeah. Reg was good. Reg was a staple.
He was. Wow, Lola Fulano.
Was your team doctor back then?
Elzinga. Dr. Elzinga.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was a good one.
Yes, he was.
I really liked him. I like Reg too.
Great man. He lives across the street from me.
Really?
Yep, he's still well.
Wow. Kyle, please give him my regards. Please tell him, give him my regards.
You bet.
Dwayne Wise.
Wayne Wise was from Bullock Creek, huh? I know.
Yeah.
Little school
You
also.
remember him, Skip?
Just barely.
Little time.
My thoughts about this time, just for what it's worth, is I got to halftime and I played a lot at this point, you know, I'm linebacker, and all of a sudden I realized, well, I think maybe I can do this. I think I
Yeah.
can position. So
You had a great game, Kurt. I mean,
go ahead. I was clueless at first. I just did, you know, oh, I hope I can do this, and it worked out.
So Kyle, there's a lot that has been said about Gil Krieger, but I'll tell you this also: if Gil Krieger were coaching today, they'd be talking about him like they talk about Bill Belichick and Nick Saban. You know, Krieger was a mean SOB, but he knew how to get the best and the most out of his players. He knew how to put coaches together, and there's no way we could have won this whole thing without Gil Krieger.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And he had the right, and you give him credit as a head coach to build the right kind of staff.
You do.
Different personalities and characters.
Yeah.
That whatever somebody else was lacking, the other coach next to him was strong in
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
so, you know, they could feed off of one another and kind of make, you know, their staff as a unit was the full complete package, right?
Yeah. Yep. Sometimes I think Gil doesn't get a fair shake, man, because of his personality. But
There it goes.
This turn
yeah,
the game.
already, there it is, man. Go, Randy, go. Go, Randy, go.
They ran triple option veer, and it's a broken tackle. And, you know, which kudos to Randy and everything that was going on in the box right there. But it's one broken tackle. He made a great play on breaking that tackle. Good contact bounce. And he's strong. You know, I always see Coach Ari a lot still through the years because he's in the same profession I am. And he's a guy that, you know, he may be 60 something years old, but I bet you he still bench presses 350 pounds.
Wow.
It looks like he's 25 to 30 years old. The guy is unbelievable, you know, and chewing gum and drinking Diet Mountain Dew and lifting weights like he's 25 years old. That's who he is, you know.
Kyle, I didn't know about this run until the game was over. I was out of it.
You're almost like the movie MASH, not the TV one, but the movie.
Yeah.
Dude, they were playing somebody in a football game, and
Yeah.
the doctors got a hold of him and put a syringe in him, and the next thing you know, he's over there running up down the track when the gun went off for the football game. You were like that, Skip.
Yep. I just heard Stemmel say we scored. I didn't know anything about the game, man. About this run. Missed the whole thing until after the game.
That was the first drive after halftime.
That was,
wasn't it?
yeah. And we always teach that with our players. You know, you talk about the critical times of the game without looking at the plays, what's going on. You know, the first drive in the second half is critical.
It's always.
No matter what you're on, if you're on offense, defense, you've got to make it happen. And we just did right there. That was the first drive of the second half. Austin just and it's great that you remember that stuff that we try to teach you, Austin. And critical part, you know, you can't have a letdown right there.
Yeah. That guy was a big horse. Sneridan. He's about 225, 230.
They got good-looking people.
Yep.
Good play right there. Got the nose again.
Yep. Jack Gentner and Arden Olsen.
That's a great job by those guys right there. Is that Arden?
Yep. Arden was badass.
Oh yeah, he was rough, powerful dude.
Man, look at that guy. Strong as Knox.
Wisconsin. I think he was from over there by Mosinee, also not too far from.
He was somewhere in there.
I think he was in that area too.
He was.
Quiet and mean.
Down in fifth grade.
Can you remember all of that?
Yeah,
Your memory is fantastic.
yeah. I know Arden. What's the school that starts with a D that's over by Mosinee, Kurt? Do you remember? We had a lot of players from there.
Can I see that book?
You're not talking about Everest, are you?
Yeah, DC Everest. Was that where Arden was from? I'm going to look it up here. I've got the 75.
Arden and or Butch. Butch was from, one of them was from Mosinee, I think. The other one was from Everest.
Arden was from Wausau. He was from Schofield Everest, which is, I'd assume, DC Everest.
That's DC Everest, yeah. That's where Danny Stencil went to school as well. We had a bunch of kids from there.
Yeah, through the years, Northern's always had some real good players from that school.
So Kurt, were you on the field when Stencil's eye popped out in this game and he had to put it back in his eye? He had to clean it off, put it back in his eye?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, I remember you in that
But
time.
that's a classic story. I'll
Yeah.
time out and look for his eye.
We're kind of grinding the veer game out here with the triple option stuff now. And we got them off sides.
Stencil.
Stencil.
Dan Stencil. I believe that year Dan Stencil and Mike Berry were both Kodak All-Americans. Is that accurate?
Dan was. I don't know about Mike.
I don't remember.
I think Dan was their only All-American or Kodak All-American.
Yeah.
That sound right, Skip?
You know something? I know Dan was. Mike might have been. I don't want to say he wasn't, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
I know Stu Betts was an All-American.
Yep. Western's doing a good job of having a nice leverage player, force player on that pitch.
Yeah.
We broke the inside run there, but we haven't got out to the perimeter. They got good team speed on defenses for as big as they are, too.
Yeah.
Coach Krieger called the offense, Kurt, didn't he?
No, Rodemacher did from the box, from up top.
That's right. Call it down. And
Right there. Lost somebody.
Ken Russellevich, yeah.
Kenny was a great guy, and we lost him way too.
Man, yeah, what a guy.
Yeah, 30 years ago now, I think. Private
Yeah.
plane accident, but he was a wonderful guy.
You know, Kurt, Ken, they call him Hop Sing. He was a lot like you. All he ever did was inspired me. You know, I don't have a bad story about Kenny. You know, all he ever did was just inspire me.
He was from Rhode Island too. I don't know where that came from, but
Yeah, a black belt in martial arts.
Remember you guys talking about that?
yeah, that's where the Hop Sing came, or Hop
Yeah.
Sing.
We went I-Pro FIB. Formation into the boundary. We tried to run a counter boot back to the field. Boy, they're salty up in that box. Them Hilltops.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the play caller a little bit right now, Coach Rodemacher. You know, you go into it with your game call sheet, and it's this big and all this, and you got everything on there, and then you calling this and that, and they're not moving the ball for you. All of a sudden, that play call sheet starts to get really small.
Yeah.
And we've just punted out to the 40. And we're still in our territory right now. Right now, we're we're losing field position. So come on, defense.
Yep.
2-point game.
Yep.
I believe is this the ending score also?
That's the final story. That's the ending score.
How did we get away with this one? We just punted, and I believe they're at our 38. And
We toughened up.
I believe we toughened up, and I think this is where they kicked a field goal that was also close in it.
Okay.
Well, they kicked it at the end of the game. I got a good jump off the line of scrimmage and laid out for it. I thought I had it, but they missed that field goal by probably about 6 inches, man.
Oof.
We just toughened up, though. Our defense did, man. We toughened up.
Had to. And that defense was tough all year. You guys,
Yeah.
well coached, and credit goes to the players, but in Coach Grinke and Coach Sadik, for putting that thing together.
Yeah.
Through the game, they're pretty active. Herb's running a lot of different slants, a lot of games in there.
Yeah. I mean, Kyle, we went out there without Mark Fragel,
Yeah.
Mike Berry, Alex Maslamani, and Doc Sala,
Yeah.
and held our own.
And that's really a testament, because
Yeah,
those players that weren't playing for you were all plus players.
they were.
You sit here and let alone take one out, but you're taking 4.
Yeah. And that Fragel, he was a mean SOB in the middle, man. I mean, he didn't just tackle you. He tried to make sure that you knew he was tackling you.
He was a tough guy.
Yep.
He was like the Jack Lambert of Division II football. I mean,
He actually was. He was my buddy also. Thank God.
He was
Still my buddy.
he was a transfer from Michigan State, and he
Yep.
told a story about how he got to Northern, and it's just one of the best stories in the world. But I mean, he was a starting linebacker. He was a good player at Michigan State, and
Yep.
they just got into a coaching change and had some things going on at Michigan State that
Yep.
he wanted to leave. There's Skip.
Yep.
Remember that one, Skip?
I do. I really do, because I remember Krieger yelling something, firing us up after that tackle right there, man. I think Krieger said something to the Western players about how hard we hit at Northern also. Yeah. Fragel and myself got to Northern the same day in January, and Rademacher forgot to pick us up at the airport, so we caught a cab in the town and slept on a sofa and sofas in Grease Hall and in the rec room or whatever, and they finally found us the next day.
Oh. Hey, Austin, Rayvon, if you on your visit here, what if we forgot to pick you up? You think you? Or you've been thinking? Would you been thinking the other way a little bit now after somebody forgot you?
Probably because it came up in January. And it was pretty cold out then, so I think if I got left around, I would have been tough.
Yeah, you
might
might.
rethinking like, oh yeah, maybe them other schools do sound.
It was cold, and I was coming from Arizona, and that day I said, man, what have I done?
You're leaving Arizona where it's warm and coming in that semester, right, Skip?
Yep, and they forgot to pick me up at the airport, man. And I didn't have a winter jacket. Kurt gave me a sweater the first time I came up.
So how did you get to the residence hall from the airport?
From the airport, and the cab driver didn't charge us. We told him the truth. He was a nice guy.
Wow.
And I think me and Fragel might have had about $2 together or whatnot, man. And Rad came in about 11 o'clock the next morning, apologizing and asking us not to tell Gil Krieger.
Yeah, begging. There we go. We finally got a dive through out of split back. There goes Stu. I bet Rad was just worried about you all telling. I'm sure.
We were lucky when you came up as recruit, because we took you out. The night we took you out was a
Man,
beautiful
you know,
summer.
yeah.
Couldn't have been
Tell the
nice.
story. Tell the story, Kurt. That night you took me out in your MG as a recruit.
Well, I can tell it, and Skip was my recruit, and I picked this guy up and took him to a party, and MG that I still have. But that's
Oh, not Northern back in '75. That wasn't going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
But anyways, Skip, you tell the story. I mean, you were
Well, well, on that Friday, I was with Zach, and they were playing cards in his room, and Zach got into a fight with this guy Vinton Singer, and so I kind of like told Rad, hey, can I stay with somebody else on Saturday? So he put me up with Kurt, man, and Kurt took me to the pier.
Sure.
And I met Stu and all the guys, and I think we probably knocked down about 4 or 5 pitchers of beer. And then finally, Kurt said, hey, you want to go for a ride? And we went for a magical ride. It was lightly snowing. He had the small MG. He took me, what is that, Big Bay? How far out did we go, Kurt?
I don't remember. Halfway up the Big Bay Road.
But it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. I told him, Kyle, I said, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. That ride right there sold me on Northern because it's so beautiful in the wintertime.
Well, thank God for UP hospitality from your cab driver when you got here to start start school.
Yeah.
Reese Hall. Where was that located? Over by Spalding and Gant and all that?
No, it was up campus.
Up campus?
Yep.
That was across from the UC, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. No blankets and nothing. We slept. We took our jackets off and bundled up and slept on 2 separate couches, man.
Thank God you at least got into the hallway, Skip.
Yep. And that's what the RA said, because RA said, he said, school hadn't started yet. He said, but I'll let you in. And we told him the story. I think we, got some stuff out of the snack machine, some M&Ms and then some crackers, and that was it, man.
That was it. Arc option. Oh boy. He's tough sledding in there. Tough sledding. This guy's got a nice defense.
Look how big these guys were, man.
Yeah, they're good size. I would say this though, our defense is matching their defense.
Yep.
There's we're playing as well as they are on defense.
Yep. Well, by now, Kyle, it's personal. We're taking it personal that and we're supposed to win.
Is Kenny ever coming back from that, coming out of the game? Do you guys remember? Did he come back? Was he okay, or is he out for the rest of the game?
I think he must have come back. We'll see if we can find him out there. I don't honestly remember him getting hurt in that game, so we'll see.
I mean, Rich McGuire has got to be at the point of impact with all their run game, at least 2/3 of the game.
Yeah.
He is right at the point of playing.
Holding his own.
Yeah, he is.
Kyle, about the 4th quarter, I could actually see them getting tired.
Would you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right. This Jefferson dude's carrying a lot of balls too.
Yeah.
They're liking this 3-back stuff. They're going to sit in it. Ran blast. Just keep running blast. Try to wear us out and manage the game. It's like all those military academies, 3 yards.
Yep.
All they want is 3 yards.
Yep.
And then they'll make one. They'll get a play in there for more and still move the chains, And it's like they'll just keep running it, let you until either you break or they break. Running that regular power play off tackle, but we got a good play there. Look like Butch.
Yep.
Defensive end. I bet Herb brought him down inside. Back to 3-back. Play action. Play action. There we go.
That's Skip Ponder.
That's it.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Huh? Yeah.
Not much open. Good coverage.
Yeah.
Dang, there's Skip. There's good pursuit. Good pursuit.
Yeah. God, I miss tackle football.
Yeah. That's the way the game was, wasn't it, back then?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Stemo. Joe Stemo.
There.
Yep.
Good secondary.
Yep. Great secondary. Yep.
Right there.
I know that was Cooch.
He was gamey. That was a gamey corner.
Yep. Yep.
A lot of
Yep.
changes during the year.
Yep. Quick as a cat.
I think this is about where we're approaching the end of this third quarter here. And one thing that I kind of want to talk about as a sidebar here is, most folks they played football in high school or, their days of youth, but not a whole lot of people get the chance to play college ball, particularly at the Division II level and up. And there's so much camaraderie and such that goes into it. Not something that everybody gets to experience. So, of course, we live vicariously or we attach ourselves to a different program or team. But can we talk just a bit about what it means to be able to play college football? And then I want to talk with Rayvon and Austin a bit about maybe how COVID has impacted that as of late as we continue to work our way through this 1975 championship game.
Kurt?
I'm Marquette. I grew up in Marquette, and I grew up watching the Northern guys and play. That's really anything, but I'd never been able to do that. So I got the opportunity to be part of it. It was a thrill, and I don't think I ever took it for granted at that level. So yeah, I'm very fortunate, very blessed to get the opportunity.
Well, for myself, football started out early, the Pop Warner stuff, but by my freshman year in high school, I was only 98 pounds. My dad was in Vietnam. My mom worked, so they would not let me play football in high school in case of emergency. I ran cross country. And the next year in California, I was new at a school, so this coach, I don't know what his deal was, but I never played one down on the field. I thought that I was pretty good. Thought I was the best corner, but I never played. My junior year, I played JV football, and finally as a senior, I came on, and I just, I grew a little bit, got up to about 155, 160 pounds, and played wide receiver and defensive back. But we only won one game at my senior year in high school, and my junior college was a great college. We were always ranked in the top 5 in the nation, and that's when Bill Rodemaker came down and got me. So when I got to Northern, I'd been to a few other schools that had bigger names, but I just didn't feel the connection. And when I got to Northern, when I met those guys, what intrigued me the most was that I felt like they really wanted to win. I mean, we took practice serious. Everybody in practice tried to beat the guy in front of them, whether it's on offense or defense. The stories are legendary, Kyle, about how your dad, whipped us into fashion, and he ran us like dogs. I mean, we ran and we ran and we ran, and we just thought that we were supposed to win. So by the first game of my junior year, when we beat Whitewater, we played hard. We practiced hard and played hard. Then off the field, we partied hard. But it just became a thing as to where we love playing college football at Northern Michigan University. This story has to be told, because I talked to Steve Mariucci about it, and he did some research. He said that no one in high school, grade school, college, or NFL, or in any school or whatnot has ever been 0-10 year prior and turn around and won it all the next year. And so I can live and die with that I was a part of something that no one else has ever done. There are a lot of winners out there, but there's a handful of champions, and Kurt and myself, we're champions.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel blessed to have been a part of this whole thing.
Absolutely. Well, we get a lot of help right there too. Now they just botched an exchange. Now they put themselves into 3rd and long.
Yeah, you're talking about pressure. They're starting to feel it now, I think.
Money down. They got some guys banged up right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that isn't helping, is it?
No. Trying to throw the quicks. Incomplete. We're off the field.
On that pass right there, Zimmerman stepped up and got his hand on it, but the guy ran a J, and I stepped in for the pick. And I thought I was going to go 60 yards, but Zim stepped in and knocked it down. But by then, we pretty much figured that we were going to win this game, outside of just throwing it away.
Right.
You can see the panic in their faces by then.
Yeah, they got their starting quarterback sitting on the bench right now. That'd be a little concerning. We got 2 deep for punt return in the red and down in the short field, don't we?
Yeah.
He coming back? Is that their starting quarterback right there, Skip?
I don't. Yeah, it is. That's Charlie Hobby, but I don't remember if he came back. I can't remember. We didn't care if he came back.
Yeah.
Looks like they're getting into a little even front on us. You can get some good camera shots and look at the scheme. it's critical for us to get the ball out of the back of our field right now. We got to play some of this field position game. Get this thing out. Two dives, out of triple.
You know, Kyle, one thing about Steve Mariucci is that I don't recall him making many mistakes ever. You know, he played a lot of mistake-free football.
We got us the third down. We got money down here. You can see what they did finally show the down and distance on the board, but I can't see what they didn't have the distance up there. Coach called a timeout. We got to have something happen here now.
There it is.
Oh, she's going to fourth quarter.
Yep.
I want to take some of this commercial break now. We heard from, of course, our two alum here, Kurt and Skip, about your experiences and the camaraderie of football. But now, kind of an interesting predicament when we shift ourselves now to Rayvon and Austin. Let's talk about how the pandemic has kind of affected that as of late. I mean, you guys are both in your senior seasons. You've been a part of this program. How has it been different this year due to all of the different pandemic complications?
Well, obviously we're not playing football right now. We just started practicing and doing our lifting and running and stuff. So it's good to get back and see the guys again. I mean, we're not in big groups, which it stinks because I got friends that are in different positions and play offense and stuff. So I don't get to see them as much anymore, but we're trying to stay positive and do what we can do right now. I mean, we're trying to follow all the rules and make sure we're doing things right. So when they give us the go-ahead to play football, we're able to. But it's been tough to stay positive mentally, but we are. I think for the most part, the guys have been doing what they're supposed to do, working out, going to class, and hopefully this breaks soon so we can get back to it and going full.
Yeah, and I agree with Potter. Just taking it day by day, because really COVID is not just messing us up, it's messing literally the world up. So it's literally just learning how to adjust and go with the new flow or the new normal or whatever they want to say. But just basically staying ready every day, like we gonna play a game tomorrow. That's my mind. I would speak for the whole team. Just if we had to play tomorrow, I feel like we would be ready if that was the case. But just staying ready. And there's no point in getting ready if you're already ready. So that's just my mindset in football and just going about the whole COVID situation.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys are ready to get back out and play. I mean, we're starting to now, and you can tell there's a lot of excitement going around with the guys, and I think we're just all ready. I mean, whenever they tell us that we can get back to it, I don't think anybody's gonna say no.
I would hope not.
Well, third down, we just ran a reverse with Maurice. So picked up the first down. That size large right there. Total yards, they're right there neck and neck now. So we've had a real good third quarter.
They got 20
Yeah, they're not really trying to throw the ball that much. They're kind of making their statement running the ball.
This is the definition of old school football.
You know, Kyle, Maurice Mitchell was a great blocker also.
Yeah.
I mean, he hit me sometimes in practice on some blocks as to where, I couldn't breathe for 2 or 3 minutes. Rademacher made those guys block the same way they wanted to catch passes. They were all good blockers, but Maurice was a mean blocker.
Yeah, they're both good-sized players. Him and Zach, they're good-sized receivers, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, they're big bodies.
Yep.
I used to when I was coaching at Western, I used to go into to Romeo, where Zach is from.
Yeah.
They'd go in a little bit earlier so that I could look at the, the all-state kids and their football people in the hallway. So I'd look for Zach, and he was an all-state tight end.
Wow.
And I'd laugh. I'd say, if only they could have.
Oh boy.
He was a really good X for us. But he was tough and very competitive, and very motivated and high spirited. So he was they were gonna block you.
Yeah.
Guy away.
He was all state in basketball also.
Good athlete. Yeah.
You asked about Kenny Russ. There he is right there. He's back in the ballgame.
Yeah. Thank God.
That was a picture.
There's Smitty out there on the escort.
Yep.
Boy, they just mauled Steve in the game too.
Yeah.
Tough as can be as well.
He was tough.
He's good
He
in
was
a lot
tough.
of ways, but he was such a tough.
Yeah.
Jack's back up to punt. Got him down at about the 16, 17. Good.
And they gave me 15.
He was treated like normal people.
These guys are back here commenting about how much the quarterbacks got hit and there's no penalties.
Yeah.
Oh no. Not then.
They're protected. Every
Oh
time
boy.
you get close to a quarterback, you're dealing with 15 yards.
Yeah.
Like it how it
That's a
was.
shame too.
Nice
I
draw.
like the
Good
old
play by
ones.
us. Good play on the draw again.
Kyle, that's why all these new stats don't mean much to me because it's a different game.
Yeah. You would think if you were Western Kentucky, you've got to change gears here a little bit on offense. Because we've gotten some good stops here, and they're kind of just staying in the same routine. 2 back inside run, 3 back inside run, a little bit of play action. Once in a while, run it quick. But I mean, they still haven't scored since what? The second quarter?
It's the second quarter.
Now they're in the fourth quarter. You start to think you're going to see an eccentric play or something, something out of the ordinary come around here. Keep running it inside. They're just not going to get out of what they've been doing.
She don't want you to take a look at her. Now she's looking at you. She drops her ears when she doesn't want to.
Now what?
They're just not getting out of their game plan, are they?
Right now it's the fullback against our linebackers in our front. That's what they want to do.
That's what's really interesting here is, again, it sounds cliche to say bend but don't break, but I mean, really, they're getting yards in between the red zone here. I mean, across the field, but I mean, when it came down to it, this defense really just seemed to have a way to get the stops when they had to. You're okay with giving up some yards, in the middle of the field, but ultimately they would not score again in this game.
Nope.
That little counter right there.
Kyle, Joe Stemmel was a free safety, but he played like a linebacker.
Yeah.
I mean, Stemmel would tag you, man. He let you know.
Yeah. He's a rough. He was a cowboy back there now.
Yeah. I know your DBs can't do it now because of these targeting rules, whatnot. But back then, Alex Maslamani and Stemmel and myself, we'd take bets before the game about who would have the greatest hits, man.
Oh, yeah. Yep, you were that kind of crew. They've got just enough option game. Just enough. Looks like first down. They crossed into our territory, so the game coverage is getting a little choppy, but I mean, there's triple option veer give for about 9 yards. They're going to stick with their plan and just try to wear it down. So now it's gut check time.
We got 8 minutes or so, I think.
I'd like to see a clock. Just show us the scoreboard or something, please. A little bit. Run that fullback. No. They are almost refusing to throw that football.
Yeah. Oh, by then, we were sitting on their routes because we knew what all they could run.
Yeah. They're chewing it up a little bit right now.
Yeah.
What they want, running that power play without the O and running their dive and their belly game with the fullback.
Yeah. Let's see what Skip's doing. Get off the block, Skip. Get off the block. There you go. Man, I missed that game.
So belly. They just want to stay inside. There's Coach Sadik.
That's Sadik. Bob Sadik.
And Coach Krieger's probably getting mad now.
Yep, he's yelling. You see him? He's yelling.
He looks a little irritated.
Yeah.
ISO.
Yeah.
Well, they're down to the 13-yard line. So we got to keep them out.
They didn't score.
Problem is, we got a 2-point lead, so field goal is good enough.
Yep. That ain't gonna happen either.
What time left? 9 minutes?
Okay.
Hard to see. Jefferson's had a good day, 135 yards.
Yep.
It's 33. I think you're right there, Kurt. Wasn't that you?
I think so.
Yep. That's Kurt.
Well, first down measured up. Skip wants to know what's going on right there on the chain.
Yep.
Oh, cut away. I couldn't tell what it was. Skip, what was it? Do you remember? First down or is it short?
Yeah, that's first down.
First down. First and 10 at the 11. Now just go back to 3-back. And then a little power I package. Oh. He's bloody in there now.
Yeah. I'm playing 2 yards off the line of scrimmage right now.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, they want to get in that 3-back. You could get your secondary a little bit closer to the line now with all the wideouts. This boy's ran the ball for 32 times already.
Yeah. On that play right there, Kyle, I took it personal because they tossed him the ball thinking that he could beat me to the corner. And I just want to make sure I made a sure tackle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, stem one myself.
Defense right there. Didn't get much more. You know, their perimeter run hasn't been as productive as their inside run. All right, power pass.
Yeah,
Wide open. Someone showed up there late.
yeah.
The fullback was wide open, and then all of a sudden, he's covered.
Get up, Joe. Get up, Joe. Get up.
Yeah. Reg's to the rescue, right?
Yep.
Always.
Who backs him up, Skip?
Nobody in this game. I don't remember.
Lawrence Sell.
No, Lawrence, you know, it might have been, but I think Lawrence Sell was playing strong safety behind Ken Ames.
Okay.
Greg Cozy, maybe?
Cozy?
It might have been Greg Cozy.
Yeah.
It might have been Greg Cozy.
Catholic League.
I heard Washington.
Greg was St. Rita.
And from Chicago.
Yep. I think
Yeah.
it was Catholic League. Let's see.
The last time I saw Greg Cozy at a reunion, we went and climbed some mountain before the game. Was, you know, I can't remember the name of the mountain, some mountain out there. We climbed the mountain before the game.
Sugarloaf.
Sugarloaf.
Sugarloaf, that's what it was. Yes.
Thank you, Leslie. How much longer?
Greg Cozy. He was out of St. Rita. Yep, Catholic League. Good football. So what do we got? Third down or fourth down? Fourth down, they're going for a field goal.
And they're gonna miss it.
Talking about, Skip.
Here it is.
Not
Put
a
some
hard
wings on. Yep. Wide.
off the left hash, and he missed it, huh?
Yep. Yep.
Thank you, Lord.
Yep.
Oof.
Oh, yep.
What a chip shot.
Yep. Well, that toss that they ran where Joe and myself got him,
Yeah.
it put them on the other side of the hash mark. You know?
Put him out on the perimeter instead of right in the middle. Now
Yep.
we got to run the clock and get some first downs.
Yep.
Don't hurt to score again, but at least we got to get some first downs and move the ball.
Yep.
Defense on the bench. She might be tough sledding, and they'll have that box jammed up now. Oof. Not much in there. She's tough sledding. If you call the play right here, just run a triple option double pass. That might break it for you.
Triple option double pass.
Would you be brash enough to do that one, Kurt? Down in your own end? Running
Yeah. How did you
up by 2?
You didn't want to see that block that was missed there.
I know, I see it.
You saw it, huh?
Copy, it's hard to see.
That's good.
I think we're only out. We got to be in third and what? Third and medium at least? Third and long? Please, let's get the first down. Come on, boys. Let's go.
Wow.
Oh. Sack. Now we got to get the ball out. We're snapping
Yep.
on 12.
Yep.
To get the ball out, we got to change the field. We need a good punt. We need to protect it.
Yeah, they stacked the line.
Oh, yeah. Not playing around there. Here we go. We got the ball out. And that's about pretty good. You got over the 50.
Yep.
Like we got it to about their 46. Come on, defense. Be interesting to see if they stay par for course with their philosophy on offense. Just run those 3 to 4 run plays. 2 back and 3 back. Seems like to me they've had better productivity out of their 2 back stuff than their 3 back. You know. We don't get much softer when we get that nub side formation with our corners and our safety. They show up and tackle pretty good. You're almost better if you're them to keep the corners out there with the wideouts and do your thing. Sometimes it just depends on how patient you can be, doesn't it, guys? As an offensive caller, you know, when do you say it's time to get out and do something else? But there's what, 5:44 left? So that's
Wow.
there's about a game left.
A lot of time.
We're at the 50. And then that's help. Randy Zimmerman as a freshman, huh? He was a true freshman in 75, wasn't he?
Who was that?
Zimmerman?
Yeah. Randy he was a true freshman.
Having to grow up quick, isn't it, boys? Put you in the national championship as a true freshman for the whole game.
I like Randy Zimmerman.
Oh yeah, good player. Triple, reverse. Here it is.
Yep.
Hey, who is it?
Butch.
Butchie.
Good play by Butch. They've done enough of just regular run to put you to sleep a little bit. That's awesome. Great perimeter control. Wow, Butch. Coach actually running pretty good right there now.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yep.
That's great. You got him in third long now.
That's with less than 5 to go, too.
Yeah. You know they're going to throw the dang ball. They're throwing it underneath. Throwing it underneath. Ooh. It's 3rd and long, isn't it? Or is it 2nd down because of the penalty? Might be 2nd. What do we got? Third down conversions, they're 50%. Third and long. Hard to see it off the glare. It looks like 20-something yards, but they're definitely 3rd and long.
So Kyle, did they ever tell you a story about Tom Buchkowski being separated from all of his siblings as a child?
No.
Growing up in a foster home, and he didn't meet anybody else in his family until I think he got to Northern right afterwards.
Really?
He finally met his brother when he started playing football at Northern.
Really?
Incredible story.
Never did hear that one.
Yeah.
Butcher was from Mosinee, which is basically Schofield, Wausau area. Where did he say his family was?
I can't remember, but he said that's why he was so quiet all the time, because he grew up without a family.
He went to DC also.
He just retired here about a month ago, 3 weeks ago. Maybe.
Still out west, isn't he?
What's that?
He out west?
Yeah, he's in Washington State.
Yeah.
He worked at a prison. He was a
Yep.
counselor in prison.
Was he?
Yeah, I bet he was just really good at what he did.
Yep.
All right, it's 3rd and what? 20? And they ran I-Pro toss. 3rd and 20? Pretty much guarantees you say we're in 4 down mode, huh?
Yeah.
That much time left. Now, that 3rd and 20 plus, I-Pro toss strong. They must not have been very good. They must not have been a real confident passing team, huh? Skip?
No. That touchdown they got was off of a busted defensive play.
Yeah.
And outside of that, they didn't do much at all in the air against us. Actually, nothing.
Yeah. You got to pick. Was it 2-1 on the takeaway battles? We got a fumble and they've got a pick, right?
You finished with the pot with the
Now we fight to get out.
Go ahead. Get it up. Yeah, go ahead.
heat it up. Okay.
We underthrew the double move
Oh, yeah, that's right.
and they got it. And then
And then they fumbled and dumped on. Well, we fumbled and dumped on.
we got the fumble recovery, right? So that's 2 and sometimes that's enough.
There's a slide.
Option. Triple.
That was our leader, Steve Mariucci.
Yeah.
What stadium was this at?
This was at the Camellia Bowl in Sacramento, California.
It's either Cal Berkeley or Cal Fullerton, one of the two.
This stadium was torn down years ago.
Yeah. What kind of shape was that place in when you played this game?
What's that?
Not that good, man. You know, like I said, I stepped in a gopher hole.
Two bets got hurt, remember? And he stepped in a hole in this game. A little rough on him. I remember he was hurt after the game.
Yeah.
I don't really know in Sacramento who would have been using that stadium. Or those state schools were open back then, you know, playing football, Sacramento State or somebody, but who would have been playing then in that stadium?
I think it was at Cal Berkeley, and they had lost their football program. They ran track and did other stuff. But that stadium, we used it because nobody else was using it.
Yeah.
Mark?
A lot different back then, boys. Whatever happened to Aunt Alice, I don't know. Ski jumps. 2 minutes and something. Punting. It's just a defensive battle.
Yep.
Good punt. Good coverage. Let's
Good
tackle.
covered.
Yeah,
Yep.
very nice job. Very good special teams.
Yep. Fred Smith out there on
He's on punt.
punt coverage. Yeah.
Oh, that's good when your guards used to be linebackers. They can run a little bit.
Fred and Roy could both run.
Looks like they're throwing a penalty on us. 15 yards. Thanks a lot, Stripes. I wonder what Jim has to say right now. It'd be fun to hear him.
You know, Kyle, they had not moved Fred to guard yet when I first got there, and we were doing some defensive drills. I ran through a hole and Fred plugged it, man, and it's one of the hardest times I've ever been hit. Man, he could hit. He laid me out.
Him and Brownie were those kind of guys, weren't they?
Yep, laid me out and stood over me.
I can see him doing that.
Yep.
Fred and Brownie played off one another too. They just one another. They were really good for one another.
Yeah.
Yep.
They did.
I wonder why all the FIB, even back then, play action. Gotcha. Yeah, that's just not their deal. Who got in there for pressure? Can't see who it was. Pressure on him. No, we didn't have to bring anybody extra. We just rushed 4 or 5.
Yep. I think it was Jack Gentner.
Was it Jack?
Yep.
Talk about stepping up.
Yeah, big time.
Ooh. Thank you, Lord. Out of bounds.
Yeah.
Out of bounds.
Stemo. Is that Stemo or is that Cooch? That's Cooch.
Good call. He's out.
Out of bounds. Way out of bounds.
That's the first long shot they've taken in a long.
4th down. You gonna go for it?
I think they are.
I think they're out of time.
I think we're at about the 2-minute mark here.
Right. No, they're gonna stay FIB. Roll pass, Sacola. Great play. Sacola. Tommy Gilbert.
Tom Gilbert.
That's it. We got to ride it out now.
Wow.
Wow.
Feeling
Wow.
good.
Size. That size large.
Wow.
Look for your option. What do you think, Kurt?
I think we're down to the end. I think
I think he's going to take a knee, right?
yeah, taking a knee, I think.
Yeah.
Or take the ground, have a guy cover you up, just really make sure nothing goes bad. Ground and cover him up.
Oh, boy. Jim Felix.
Bring back them hats that they were wearing too.
Those hats?
Yeah,
You like those head coaches
I
hats?
like them hats. I would wear something like that.
That's
Be tough with the headset.
It'd be a little rough when I'm chasing you guys around to be dressed up like with all the work that you guys make me do. Howard gets mad and have to go calm him down. 2/3 of the game. It'd be hard to do with a Bear Bryant hat on. Let me tell you that. Slacks and ties.
Hey, Kyle, you know, those guys, their coaching staff and captains, they said some very unsavory things about us before the game. You know, they didn't respect us before the game.
Well,
That's Jamrich, isn't it?
That's John Jamrich. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, Gil Krieger.
Great day. And it wasn't much longer that you guys were on the bus down to Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Or whatever y'all did.
Yeah. Yeah, we did a lot. I know that Zach and myself barely caught the plane on the way back. We were late to the airport. Krieger was furious, man. I don't know what we were doing. We were doing something. I don't know.
Well, thanks for joining that. I know it was a little bit of a long thing, but it was fun to just comment and watch it and spend some time together. Thank you to Austin and Rayvon for.
Hey, Austin and Rayvon, man, give it all you got, man, because when it's over, man. Every day. Treat practice like it's a game.
Yeah, those guys are good. So.
I'll weigh in on that too. You guys, it all goes really quick, and it's a marvelous opportunity to have like college football at the level you play in, and just make the most of it when you get the opportunity. As Kip so aptly says, you're never going to get it back, and just enjoy it all as much as you can. I know there's times when it's not easy, but enjoy every minute of it. Enjoy what you're doing.
We will.
Well, thanks, everybody. Thank you for everything, for coming in and helping us. Anything else?
Hey, Kyle, so question, is this on a stream, a Zoom? Is that streaming also?
Al, how
So we're going to record this now, and then we'll go back and edit it later on, and then they'll post it to a Facebook Live at some point in the future.
Okay.
It'll be live streamed to the public. But this right now is just us in this Zoom call.
Yeah, so I'll do a real quick outro here, and I mean that'll be a wrap, and then we'll get it out there.
Yep.
All right, fantastic. All right, well, guys, thank you much. Enjoyed it. Kurt, talk to you soon.
You bet, Skip. Take care.
And folks, that'll conclude our watch along of the 1975 Division II football championship. Kyle, Kurt, Skip, Rayvon, Austin, everyone, thank you for really a pleasure to watch this game with you guys.
Thank you.
Everyone at home, make sure you follow the NMU Wildcat social media outlets so you can catch the next Wildcat Focus. But for now, this is Derek Miceli saying thanks for watching with us. And that